Hi, I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my wrap-up. I read 5 books and all of these fit prompts for the Free Your Shelf-a-thon that went the entire month. And with these 5 books, I got 2 bingos on the bingo card. Let me tell you about the 5 books that I read in June. The first book that I read is American War by Omar Akkad, which was for the prompt, read a book by a BIPOC author. This is a dystopian novel and it is pretty terrifying. It was a really interesting idea. This dystopian takes place in a world where climate change has changed the geography of our world quite a bit, and the United States is smaller than it is now because of rising ocean levels. And there's also a war going on between the South and the North. The North, as in the first Civil War, has the most power, the most land, the most people, and the South is depending on charity boats bringing supplies to them because the people in the South are not allowed to get anything from the people in the North. There are also some refugee camps set up for people in the worst hit war zones in the United States, and a lot of this story focuses within the refugee camps, and it was really fascinating. And I do love a bleak, dark, sad, dystopian story, so this was right up my alley. And this was also my standout favorite book of the month. The second book I read was Blood of Elves by Andrzej Sapkowski, which is the first novel or the third book in the Witcher series. And it is going to count for the prompt read on the cover. And this was a really interesting step in the series, and I really enjoyed it. In this book, it focuses on the Witcher teaching a young chosen girl how to be a Witcher, and love that. That whole storyline had me enthralled. And the women in the story are helping to give the young Witcher in training a female perspective on things she's dealing with as a young woman. Just a whole lot of this apprentice learning skills about her abilities and growing up. And I love this book. It was more enjoyable than the short stories were, in my opinion, and can't wait to read on. The third book that I finished in June was The House by Bentley, and this was for the prompt favorite trope and new to me author, because this is the first Bentley book that I have read. I think I need to read more. This one was really, really good in certain aspects and seemed like it did not age well in some ways as well. Not completely PC at times, but as a haunted house story, it was definitely a win. It was really, very scary. The best part, I would say, is these creepy dolls. They're the creepiest dolls that I have ever read in a book before. Truly nightmare fuel, and that's wonderful, right? There's also creepy girl, so a creepy child type situation, which I do enjoy, even though some of the things that this girl was doing and how she was portrayed were a little iffy. It's definitely did the job of frightening and disturbing, so that's a win. And the fourth book that I read in June is Seven Deaths of an Empire by G.R. Matthews, which is a brand new grimdark fantasy tale with dual perspectives, with wonderful characters and a lot of political intrigue. Like, if you love political wheeling and dealings and maneuvering, then this is your book. If you don't like that kind of thing in your book, I mean, it's a lot of this book, so probably not. And it's very dark. It is grim, as you would come to believe a grim, dark story would be, right? And I love this story. I loved it. I could not stop turning the pages. I needed to know what would happen. And yeah, that's a sure sign of great storytelling. So definitely one to check out. It recently released. And the fifth and final book that I read in June is Interference by Sue Burke, which is the second book in a duology, which is a science fiction duology taking place on another planet that has sentient plants. And this one was a lot larger in scale. We meet people from Earth, and we see how Earth is now, and they're sending another research group to this planet to find out what happened and to bring back information and samples. And there was also another group going to Mars, and we learn about a situation between Earth and Mars. It's kind of interesting. So yeah, much broader scope. It was really interesting watching new people as they adjust to life on this strange planet with strange plants, animals, sentient creatures of all sizes and shapes. And I really like this story as well. Probably equally as much as Semiosis, the first book. And that's everything I finished in June. I also finished about another 400 pages of The Stand by Stephen King, and I have 300 more to go. So who knows when I'll finally finish that book. Have you read any of these books, and what did you think of them? I would love to hear any thoughts you have on these books down in the comments, and I will be back very soon with another book-related video. Thanks. Bye.